So what does it really take to not just survive, but actually thrive for a whole decade in the wild world of digital media? We're about to break down one person's incredible journey, from the early days of YouTube networks all the way to the new frontier of AI. Think of it as a masterclass in how to adapt, strategize, and honestly, just make it through.
This is the big question, isn't it? In an industry that moves this fast, how do you build a career that lasts? Platforms, trends, even entire business models can basically disappear overnight. So how do you build something solid? Well, this story might just have the answer.
And it turns out the answer starts right here. This is Vladimir Sivenkov. His career at the global tech company RHEI didn't begin because he saw a job ad. Nope, it started because he decided to skip all that and send one single cold email. And that one move, that proactivity, is a theme we're going to see come up again and again.
Okay, so let's actually map out this decade of change. We're going to see how the entire industry, the company, and one person's role all had to evolve together almost in perfect sync.
So here's the roadmap. It kicks off with that proactive start all about pure growth. Then it shifts to keeping partners happy. And then boom, TikTok shows up, which leads to a full-blown crisis, and finally, a massive radical pivot into AI and data. You can see how every single point on this timeline is a reaction to a huge shift in the industry.
All right, first up, let's talk about the MCN growth era. For those who need a quick refresher, MCNs, or multi-channel networks, were basically companies that signed up tons of YouTube channels to help them make money and grow. Back in the mid-2010s, the only thing that mattered was scale, getting as big as you could, as fast as you could.
And yeah, it all comes back to this one move. See, he could have just had his friend connect his channel for him, but instead, he went straight to a decision maker. He didn't just take an opportunity that was there. He literally created one out of thin air.
So, what did that one email actually get him? Well, in his very first year, he personally recruited this many channels, 62. This wasn't just a good start. It was proof right away that his proactive approach got real, measurable results.
But see, by 2019, the game was already changing. The focus wasn't just on getting partners anymore, it was about keeping them. So winning an award for Best Partner Retention was a huge deal. It showed that his skills had evolved from just being a salesman to being a long-term relationship manager. That's a crucial pivot.
But of course, no career is just a straight line up, right? Every good story needs a conflict, and the entire industry was about to slam into one. We're talking new platforms, big market shifts, and even geopolitical forces that were about to change literally everything.
And this was the new battlefield. From his unique position inside the company, Sivenkov could see this platform war playing out in real time. On one side, you had TikTok with that massive first-mover advantage, and it was just easier for creators to use. But then you had YouTube, leveraging its biggest strengths, way better data for creators, and most importantly, better ways for them to actually get paid.
And on top of all that, there was an even bigger shift going on. The source calls it deglobalization, which is a really interesting term. Basically, it means the global internet was starting to break apart. What worked in one country might totally fail in another. International companies had to figure out how to operate in a much more fragmented, regional world.
Okay, now get this, because this is the crucial part. While the company was in total crisis mode, restructuring, laying people off, the new creators he brought in delivered this many views. Over 639 million. That's not just surviving a crisis, that is delivering insane results right in the middle of a storm.
So that crisis, it actually became the catalyst for something huge. Just getting through the storm wasn't good enough. The company realized it had to fundamentally reinvent itself. And that reinvention, well, it came in the form of a massive pivot to AI.
And this was the three-step plan for how they did it. They evolved from being a simple service company, just helping with monetization, to becoming a data company, selling valuable insights about audiences and performance. And the final step? They became a true tech company by building their own AI solutions from the ground up.
Okay, so we've just walked through an entire decade of chaos and change. So what can we actually learn from all this? Let's try to boil this whole journey down into 3 key lessons that anyone can use, really.
First up, proactivity isn't just something you do. It's a lifestyle. It started with that cold email way back in 2015, and it was still happening in 2024 when he just built his own website to use as a sales tool. The principle is exactly the same. If you don't have the tool you need, you build it yourself. You don't wait for permission.
Lesson 2, and this one might be the most important of all, is the ability to reinvent yourself. When the MCN market started to stagnate, the job changed from growth to retention. When the big crisis hit, the whole company had to learn a new language, data and AI. Your survival really depends on your ability to evolve.
And finally, lesson 3, 360-degree networking. And what does that mean? It's not just about going to big industry conferences. It's about building real connections with top management in Hong Kong and Vancouver, sure, but also with the people who organize your local hiking trips and business clubs. You just never know where the next opportunity is going to come from.
So there you have it. The playbook, forged over a decade on the front lines, is actually pretty simple when you boil it down. Be proactive, be ready to reinvent yourself, and network absolutely everywhere.
And that leaves us with one last thought-provoking question. Sivenkov mentioned reading Nassim Taleb's book, The Black Swan, which is all about the huge impact of these really rare and unpredictable events. It kind of makes you wonder, right? What's the unexpected, game-changing event that's waiting on your horizon, and are you prepared for it?